I know I've been promising to frame the prefab greenhouse. He wanted to add the one that's taking up most of the room in the garage so that my vintage Porsche has been relegated to the driveway under a measly cover. But years of being married had taught him a little tact. He didn't know why he kept putting off the construction of the greenhouse. It wouldn't take more than a half day to build it. Maybe, psychologically, he was afraid of what would happen if she had even more room for plants. And I appreciate that you haven't nagged me to build it, even though we bought it months ago. You work hard and put up with long hours. Your time should be your own. Rina was using her best self-sacrificing voice. That's precisely why I took up gardening, to occupy my time during those long hours. All right. Decker broke in. He covered his face with his hands, then looked at her between his fingers. Just promise me you won't turn into a dotty old lady like what's-her-name? Cecily Eden. Decker smiled. Yeah, dotty old Cecily with the eponymous garden. Is Eden really her last name? Or did she change it to match her obsession? As far as I know, it's her given last name, and she's not dotty. She's very sharp. A retired microbiologist. She always jokes that she went from growing aerobes to growing aerides. Rina laughed out loud. When Decker didn't respond, she gently nudged his shoulder and said, "A little inside garden joke." Decker tried to remain serious, but finally gave in and laughed. She was so cheerful this morning. Rina was still his 26-year-old bride, though he had climbed over the 40 mark a few years ago. In the past, they'd been mistaken for father and daughter, even though he was only 12 years older than she was. Rina had a beautiful complexion, and her hair was still black, although he rarely saw it in its full glory. Ultra-Orthodox Jewish convention dictated that married women cover their locks whenever they went out in public. Lately, she'd taken to wearing big straw sun hats and goofy sunglasses. You really should see Cecily's garden, Peter. It's magnificent. She has the most unusual plants. The crowning jewel in her backyard is an imported Chinese sacred tree. It's like a magnolia, but has these smaller white blossoms with an intoxicating citrus aroma. It's so green and gorgeous. And being that it's from China, it blooms in the fall, just when most plants in the northern hemisphere are fading away. I'm sure it's a sight to behold. Rina clucked her tongue. How ironic that you're being sarcastic. When we first married, you were the one who communed daily with nature, Mr. I-can-build-it-myself cowboy. Yeah, but I never brought the horses into the house. Do you need help with the plants, darling? Rina stared at him, then broke into a grin. You want to garden with me? That would be great. Decker backtracked. I meant, do you need help taking the plants out of the bedrooms and into the laundry room? Rina smiled to hide her disappointment. No, I'm fine. It's not exactly strenuous work. Now she looked dejected. To Decker, gardening meant chopping down trees or hacking away brush, not transplanting cultivars. He took her hand and spoke in earnest. You know, Rina, it's a beautiful day. How about if you clear the bedrooms of the foliage and bring all the plants outside while I finally build the prefab greenhouse? We can christen it together. Rina managed a weak smile. He was trying. You don't have to build it today, Peter. I can cram the plants in the laundry room. No, I'm determined. Decker stood up, a small physical step that signified the morphing of a theoretical idea into action. Come on, Hannah's at Julie's. Let's spend some time together outdoors. You garden and I'll build. Afterward, I'll pick some lemons and you'll make lemonade. Then I'll go get some sandwiches from the deli, and we'll watch the Dodgers game together. How does that sound? This time, Rina's smile was genuine. Actually, it sounds wonderful. Great. Let's get to it. Decker picked up the paper and headed for the compost pile. One Sunday Times would make a week's worth of excellent mulch. Tuesday from 12 to 2 had been earmarked as Rina's weekly get-together with Cecily Eden, and she couldn't wait to tell her elderly friend about the newly built greenhouse. Rina was pretty sure that, to celebrate the construction, Cecily would insist on giving her all sorts of plants and would spurn any proffered payments. In order to offset this inequity, Rina had come to her friend's house armed